Texas Dirt Track Stars of Tomorrow podcast. I'm your host, Mike Fortier, coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. This is a show where we interview and discuss the up-and-coming future legends of the Texas racing scene. So grab a cold one, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey, welcome everybody. 2025, right? Season 2, Episode 1. We took some time off here just before Christmas, and I finally got myself geared up again here to go with the 2025 version of the show. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for being patient. I'm sure you all got along just fine without me. So we'll see. Got big money race seasons here. Got a big one coming up down at I-37 Speedway at the end of this month. Real big, like 10,000 to win. They've got, I noticed they've got entries from pretty much all over Texas, at least, that's for sure. Should be good. Should be a good show. So, kicking off tonight with a good friend of mine. Actually, met this gentleman down at I-37 Speedway. I'm thinking maybe 6 years ago, and he's become a pretty good friend. I think a lot of this guy. He's got a lot of experience, military experience, real life experience, racing experience. Y'all know him. You'll recognize him. I'm gonna bring this guy on right now, Mr. Bill Blanchette. Hello, Bill.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing well. It's been a nice season here. Time with the family and all that, and
Sure.
New Year getting ready to go, and
Yeah.
So looking forward to all that has to bring for us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good year. But I put a post out on Facebook last week that 15 days into this year, I'm not too impressed. So,
Yeah.
give me last year back for a little while, but it'll get better. It can't help but get better.
Sure.
It's crazy stuff going on in the world. Yep.
Yeah.
So how's your off season been, Bill? I mean, what do you do to keep busy when we're not racing here?
Oh well, been kind of the season, about the time the season kind of ended. It was also a time that I teach a men's group at church, and that kind of went into recess. But and I was looking at taking the next semester off, and I don't know, I just felt led, and so I put a course together, and so this weekend we're going to have sign-ups, and then the following week we're going to go into I've got a 12-week men's class I'm going to be teaching on the Book of James. Nice. So it's excuse me, there's that going on. We had a bunch of renovations done at the house here, so spent a bunch of money. Got a new roof, gutters, insulation, front door, back door.
Yeah.
The roof was a big one because they ended up redecking the whole house.
Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds expensive, but anyway, at least you got good weather to do it in.
That's right.
I guess. So tell us a little bit about RFC, Bill, Racers for Christ. You've been a part of that organization for quite some time. I think that and people at I-37 Speedway especially will know you for that. And I think that what you do down there is it's absolutely tremendous. And I'm not sure folks realize how fortunate we are to have you.
Well,
just tell us a little bit about the organization.
Well, RFC was founded about 50 years ago out on the west, from near as I can tell, out on the West Coast, in the drag racing scene. and drag racing is a very big part of it. In fact, when I came to looking at volunteering with them about 10 or so years ago, it was the image of the RFC sticker on the little bit of a window on Eddie Hill's dragster that kind of that jogged my memory when I saw the thing about Team RFC. And it's kind of like I always wondered about that sticker when I was growing up, and now now it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, now I can, now I was looking at becoming a part of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, now you're a piece of that.
To be a chaplain, and as and so it was there, seeing it in NHRA drag racing, and there's a big part of the ministry that follows the series, going to all the big events, Pomona, and the different, the Las Vegas 4 wide, all the different things like that. But there's also regional and other drag strips that will have RFC chaplains at them. There's various dirt sports. We've got another chaplain in San Antonio area that covers the mud drags.
Oh, cool.
And I'm at the dirt track. And then there's guys that cover the 600s, the wingless and winged 600s, and follow the series. It'd be like, like there was that late model series that came through I-37 one time. Sometimes a group like that will have, there might be an RFC chaplain that actually follows them and goes to each of their events, and stays with them, and gets real tight, with that group. Other times, it'll be a case like me where I'm at a track, and whatever events are happening there, I cover them. There's hot rodder, there's Rodders for Christ, and so this Saturday I'm going to be at a Cars and Coffee in Helotes, and be a presence at that event. And yeah, that's always neat to see what's going to pull in, and there's but there's folks that cover tractor pulls, desert racing, trophy trucks, all kinds of things. And at the big NHRA events, there's a RFC Kids. So there's a group of chaplains that will work with the kids that are at that event.
Amazing.
And they put together lessons and teach them, about the Lord, and just great lessons, for how they can live their life.
How big is the organization, Bill? I mean, it's worldwide.
It is international. The international presence is, outside of the U.S. presence is not huge, but the region that I'm in does cover like Mexico, and then there's some of the northern regions that get up near the Canadian border. If there was events in Alberta or something like that, we'd cover them, and so
I noticed looking at their website, they're broken up into multiple regions.
Yes,
across the country, and then there's multiple chaplains within each region. Is that correct?
Yeah. There's typically a region director, and then there'll be we're in Region 4, the South Central region, and that covers Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, New Mexico, Chihuahua, Coahuila, Nuevo León, and Tamaulipas. I'm not good with the Mexican names there, but
better than I am.
But Joey Keith is, he's our director, and and has a lot of balls in the air, because he was also acting as Region 5 director. And so, that's a lot of geography, and that's quite a few chaplains, and a lot of events going on. And I think right now he's up in Tulsa at the Chili Bowl,
Nice.
doing that.
Nice assignment. Is it typical for a track to have a dedicated chaplain, like 37 does with you?
It's so it takes it takes building the relationship there. In some cases, there are tracks that will reach out to RFC and say, "Hey, we'd like to have a chaplain out here for our events and whatnot." Mm-hmm. And then the director will take that up and see about how we make that happen. In other cases, it's a bit entrepreneurial on the case of the chaplains in the area there. Mm-hmm. In my case with I-37, it was kind of an interesting one. I got a call out of the blue from it was a fella named Drew Williams, and he said, "Hey, I've seen these stickers, RFC stickers and whatnot, and we used to have a bunch of them, here at I-37, but we've run out of them and whatnot, and was wondering if you might be able to provide some." And it's like, well, of course I could, give me a mailing address, I could, send a bunch of them and mm-hmm. and all that, but I it's kind of like, well, I think this is a door opening here, mm-hmm. and so I came down and I, it's been about 8 years, it seems, 7 or 8 years that I came down and that was the first thing, and then the next thing was it just kind of grew into doing the invocation at the drivers meeting, and then setting up tables with materials for folks, and that's the thing about that. Anything on the table, if I've got Bibles and stickers and tracts and other things like that, and that's there for folks to help themselves too. And if it's a matter of they want to take two, one for themselves and one for somebody else, that's okay.
Yeah.
I've got the prayer jug on there for, and cards and pens.
Yeah.
And, that's it. If somebody's got something going on, and there've been all kinds of interesting prayer requests that have come in, and pleased to be able to pray for folks' needs. But also we have a prayer chain at RFC, and when these things come in, we turn it over there, and at that point you've got chaplains all over the nation that receive that email that are praying for these folks as well.
Wow.
And it's all part of just, it's the ministry of presence, being there. If somebody has got something going on in their life, I'm there to listen. And as a chaplain, there's confidentiality that comes along with it. But it depends. I mean, if it's, there's some things that I am obliged to report, like if it's child abuse or something, but for the most part, that comes along with it. Yeah. In some settings, before I was doing I-37, I was working with the drag boat folks, and those events go over the weekend. So, folks start arriving on Wednesday, the week ahead, and it goes through the weekend, and folks, leave, Monday morning, kind of a thing. So we would have a chapel service on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And when we were doing that, It was very natural for the, it's, the event might be at Waco last month, and this week this time it's at Marble Falls.
Right.
It'd be the same boats and people, there for the next event. And we had a series chaplain for the boats.
Yeah.
And he actually, in a way, becomes their pastor. And you see that play out in that, he's doing weddings and baby dedications and baptisms and funerals and such.
That's cool. That's cool. I know that I just know that everybody down at 37 appreciates you, Bill, and I know you'll take a few moments as every car is lined up for every race down there in the lineup, the staging area. You'll take a few moments and go up through and have a few words with every driver out there. That's pretty awesome.
Well, that's, my intent is to some short benediction or something before they go out
Sure.
with the boats. That I got in the habit. There was nobody going into the water without a prayer, and there were some cases where it was a case of, I'm detained someplace else, and it's like, hey, get over here, and you're holding us up, and
yeah.
But also, there are folks that that request more, more than just that quick, that benediction like that. There was one of the fireballs in one of the last races that I came back there, and he grabbed my hand and he says, "Man," he says, "nothing's working right on this car. I need a prayer." And so so I did. Well, it turned out that he's a guy that goes to the same church that I do, and I found that out, and then in talking with him, he's friends with Alan Torres, and turned out that he'd invited Alan Torres to church, and I've seen Alan a number of times, and got to see when Alan was baptized at church, got to be there and be part of that. So
sweet.
So those are the good times.
Yep.
That happen.
Yep. Well, Bill, you're doing an awesome job, and I know it's very, very much appreciated. It's all by donation. I mean, nobody's making money off of this. It's naturally by donations. So donations, I'm sure, are always welcome and accepted.
Oh yeah, our region, anything that comes in, basically, I just gets forwarded right up, and it may be that I could go several races without needing a thing, but there might be somebody that needs a new banner, or they need stickers or a table cover,
right?
And so that helps make all those things happen.
Well, I know that all of that keeps you very busy on a race night, but you find time to also pitch in and help out where you can and when you can, and that's been greatly appreciated too. I mean, you were a big help to us, me particularly, when we were having radio problems, and we went through. You came here to my house.
Mm-hmm.
We went through every single radio, got them all cleaned up, got them all on the same channel, etc. And you taught me a lot on that. And I wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't have been able to get through it without your help on that. Sometimes I wonder why I did put myself through all of that, but
well, radio's in my kind of in my DNA, because when my military career began in the radio area, and then I'm a ham radio operator, so I've got all that. So that's always one of those things that if there's something going on with that, sometimes like it or not, I'll get in there in kibitz, and so it's fun to be able to help those ways.
Yep. You're also helpful over there at the lineup shack with getting the guys rounded up.
Well, that
race and yeah.
Well, that all started with you, because you were the pit steward there when I started there, and so kind of learned the ropes there, from you as far as that went. And then when you departed, the next guy came in. I don't know what it was. He had mic fright or something. He was not about to get on the microphone and make any announcements and all of that. And so that's when I started getting involved with calling the classes and things like that. And so, it kind of, that's at the shack there is a good place, because as folks come in, can see folks, as they come in to check in with their transponders and that. But then I like to get out in the pits as well to kind of, I can see other different folks in the crew and all that, and kind of, bring a presence, out there as well.
Yeah. Well, you do a good job. Let's jump over to the other Bill.
Okay.
This one right here. What a nice picture. Tell us about this, Colonel. Correct?
Yeah. Well, that was an official photo I had done when I took command of the 433rd Medical Group at Lackland in 2010. And that was one of my last assignments in the Air Force Reserve. I started out when day after I graduated from high school at the age of 17, going into the Air Force in ground radio. And so I did 4 years of active duty stationed in Biloxi, Mississippi, and at Keesler there. And I did radio repair. And when I got done with that, I came home to St. Louis and joined the Air National Guard. And I went to college to become a electrical engineer, and I worked in the Guard. And in 1986, I got commissioned as an officer. I was a maintenance officer. And then I got my degree in 87 and worked as a comm engineer in the Guard. And then 1993, I cross-trained into healthcare administration.
Interesting.
And that's the little badge there on top of my ribbons. That's my administrator badge. And so some of the areas I worked in were patient movement. The Air Force used to fly DC-9s that were equipped to move patients. They had red crosses on the tails and all that. And I did mission planning for them, and then deployed to Haiti to work patient movement from Port-au-Prince. That was a real short little stint. And then later on, I went into I transferred to like a clinic at Fort Worth 301st Fighter Wing, and we did pilot physicals and basically physicals for all the unit and immunizations and all that. And I was medical readiness, and then administrator. And then I was there. I came there as a major, and when I got promoted to colonel, I had to leave. Sometimes the Air Force is funny like that. It's like you're good where you're at, then you get promoted and now you have to move. So I left Fort Worth and I went to Marietta, Georgia, to a unit there at Dobbins Air Reserve Base. And I was there for a year, and there was a big inspection that we had going on that year, and I helped get them through that with an excellent. And so my reward for that was my position was cut, and then I had to go find another job. So I went to Headquarters Air Force Reserve Command and worked out of the surgeon's office. And I was thinking getting kind of long in the tooth, and I figured, well, I'll probably just retire from here. And I overheard some concern about a friend of mine who was deployed to Afghanistan. They didn't know what they were going to do because he was going to be coming home soon. And the next thing I know, I raised my hand and I was on my way to training in Fort Riley, Kansas, to go out to Afghanistan. That was 2008.
Wow.
And so I led some folks in Afghanistan for about 6 months, and then came back. And I got a command while I was in Afghanistan at Scott Air Force Base, 932nd Air Medical Staging Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I went to Lackland to the Med Group. And then from there, I finished off at Headquarters Air Force in Falls Church, Virginia, part of the Defense Health Agency. And it was a IT related area.
Wow. Well, thank you for all of that, Bill. It's pretty amazing to me. It's pretty amazing. You've had so much experience doing so many different things.
The way I put it is I can't keep a job.
Well, sometimes it's best that way.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, listen, it's been a great conversation, Bill. Is there anything else you want to tell us that we all would like to know or need to know?
Well, a lot of what we talked about at the track and all that is all, it's good and and important and things.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I did, was I started setting up a table on the spectator side. Yes. For folks there. Mm-hmm. And I don't get to spend as much time there as I would like, but I do get prayer requests from there, and I do give them the same care, that the others get, and there are times when if there's something going on with folks, I'll spend time with them, and that's for folks that are good, my presence there is kind of doesn't matter and all that, but for the folks that things aren't so good and all that, right, that's where it gets to be important, those prayer requests and the like.
Yep.
But then also there are times I get called in end of life kind of things. Yeah. And I've done through the connections there, I've done a couple of funerals, and this past year when Jamie Campbell passed away, I wasn't officiating or anything, but I did attend and spent some time with some of the modified guys that were there. Yep. And that's that's truly one of the areas that if folks are in need, that's the place where it's I really earn my money.
Yeah, I'm sure, but you become common denominator is probably not the right way to say it, but you do become the go-to person there, and it's just so good for people to have that option available to them. I know you and I have had our private moments, and it's appreciated, Bill.
Yeah, well, that's in when I was doing drag boats, we talked about the drag boat family, and that's the thing is the longer you're there with folks in that group there, dare I say, it's we're all part of one big happy dysfunctional family, and
we've all got the same thing in common, though.
yeah, there's
it's not dysfunction. It's racing.
No, yeah. The other part is just icing on the cake. But
that's right.
But
all right, buddy. Appreciate your time. I try to keep these to about a half an hour, and that's about where we're at. So,
can I close this with a prayer?
You may certainly do that, Bill. Thank you.
Okay. Father in heaven, I thank you so much for Mike and for all those involved at I-37, the promoters, Ray Doyen and Mike Keelick, and all those who work so tirelessly to make things run. I pray, Father, that you would be with each and every racer and their family and their crew and all that come out there, that 2025 will be a fantastic season. There'll be many good times out there, and that through it all, Father, it'll be done in a way that brings honor and glory to you. I thank you for the opportunity you've given me to serve this community and these people, and I just give you all the honor and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bill, very much. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
The big one. Thank you, Bill. Peace.
Thank you. God bless you.
Peace. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Well, thank you, Bill. That was a very interesting, a little bit different interview. But you know what? It's all part of racing, and we can all relate to all of this. And I just thought it would be good to hit this and give Bill some recognition. RFC, great organization. He puts a lot into this, helping this track. And thank you, Bill. So we'll see y'all next Thursday night. Let you know who I get lined up for driver. I may try to talk a little bit about the big showdown race. I don't know. Maybe get a couple guys that are entered into that event. We'll see. I'm not sure. But peace be with you all, and be safe, have fun, and keep on racing, buddy. Talk to you later.